Hey, Janet, where have you run off to? Hello, Rita. What did you want to talk about? I put all the paperwork for tomorrow's presentation on your desk. So I'd like you to go ahead and copy all of those and make enough copies for everyone coming, please. You want me doing all that today? There are going to be 21 people attending the proposal meeting, so please make that many copies for me. Even the CEO and a few other higher-ups will be there. So make sure all the papers are properly aligned after copying them and staple them together. Hold on for a moment. I'm already heading back to my house right now. Huh? Why are you doing that? You still have a lot of work to do today. You can't just skip work like that without telling anyone. Didn't you hear that since last week I've started to work shorter shifts here within the company? I know that for normal work weeks you all have to work until 5:30, but as for myself with this new schedule, I'm only needed in the office until 4 p.m. And because of that, I'm sure there are other people in the department there to help you now. So, because of that change to my schedule, I'm not going to be able to do any work for you right now as I'm not in the office. Well, why don't you just turn around and come back here? Please don't say such nonsense. I already stamped my time card and everything. I don't want to have to come back in and create an unnecessary problem for HR. So, you're not even going to listen to what the full-time employee is asking you now? Just because you happen to be older than me and have more years under your belt here doesn't mean you can talk back to me now that you're working part-time practically. As for the amount of work you have there, that's up to the department manager. So if you find that you have too much work for yourself to do, go talk to them, please. The department manager is not here right now. Well, then you can go to another high-up that's currently in the office with you and ask them for their help with the situation. I'm sure they'll be able to help you figure something out. Also, wasn't that task to have all those copies made and then stapled together a task given to you by the department manager? Also, you have only been within this company for 2 months. You are still only considered to be a new hire. So I wouldn't push your luck too much when it comes to the work you're being asked to do. Depending on how well you're able to manage your time and do your job here will ultimately decide where you move up to in the future. And even if you had been here for multiple years now, you trying to push your work off onto another employee like that is a no-go. Geez, who the hell cares about any of that? Hurry up and get back here so that you can copy these papers for me. Then you'd like me to call the office right now and tell one of the managers there that you are currently trying to push your work off onto other people? Huh? As of right now, I am not supposed to work any overtime when it comes to my schedule. So if I'm to come back to the office and do more work today, I'm going to have to go into overtime, and HR would not be too pleased with that. And at that point, I'd have to explain to them why I came back into work and put more work in. So if you're completely fine with me explaining the reason for clocking back into them, then I'll be back there really soon. Whatever. I get it now. I'm going to have to do all this work myself now then. If you're able to do that, then you'd be helping yourself out a lot. I'm heading into the supermarket to get some shopping done now, so I'll have to go. Who cares? All you are is an old hag that just talked back to one of the full-time employees here. I have proof of that now. Well, just remember that this weekend at the welcoming party for the new CEO, only full-time employees and family members will be allowed to go. So, unfortunately for you, now that you've told me you've switched to working part-time, you won't be able to attend said party anymore. And as for myself, now that I won't have you around me to cause trouble at the party, I'll be able to prove myself to the young and sexy CEO and get him to never forget who I am. But as for yourself, since you can't come to this amazing party, You'll get to spend the day by yourself like any other. Right? You have to understand that now, right? This is something I'm going to be smiling about for a while now. Seriously, it sucks to be an old hag like you. What the hell, Janet? Hey, Janet, what the hell is wrong with you? Why the hell is a part-timer of an old hag here at the CEO's welcoming party? The only people that are allowed to attend today are the full-time employees and the family of the CEO. You leave this place right now. Rita? Who was the one that said only full-time employees were allowed to come to this party? Excuse me? Well, it's the CEO's welcoming party, right? You think he'd want part-timers to be showing up to see him on his entrance into the company? Then tell me why there are other part-time workers here from both other departments in the company and of higher-ups themselves. What? I'm sure that with you only having been within this company for a mere 2 months yet, you haven't been able to meet and recognize everyone that works for the company, right? But I'm sure you can tell that some of the other people attending today also work shorter shifts for the company, right? I'd stop it with your shenanigans right now before you start to get others involved that you'd rather not be upset with you. What the heck? Then those that work in the planning department part-time are not allowed to be here. Huh? I, one of the full-time employees for the company, have just decided on that, so get the hell out. I'm really sorry, Rita, but I have to start talking to some very important people of mine, so I'll be going now. Huh? Talking to some important people, do you? Now, you listen here. Why the hell are you talking with all the executive directors and such now? And what's this with you being able to stand right next to the CEO like that? Do you not understand what your position as a part-timer means here? Also, the dress you're wearing to this kind of party is way too fashionable for you. Don't tell me. Are you trying to become the wife of the CEO or something? This cannot be. I need you to get the hell out of this party, one way or another. I'm the only one that seemed to have noticed this, so I must act now before it's too late for the CEO. You freaking loser! This is what happens when you try to make yourself look good in front of the higher-ups, when all you are is a low-life part-timer. Rita, what were you trying to do by causing all of this? And why were you just standing there in the back corner of the hallway waiting for me outside of everyone's view? My beautiful white dress is all stained in that red wine you were holding on to. I made sure that your dress would be ruined on purpose, you know. Now your only choice is to go home and leave all of us alone. So this was all a part of your plan to get me to leave this party? All because you didn't like the idea of me being here? That's right. Nobody wants to see you in that ugly-looking dress now, so I'd say your only option is to leave right away. Well, you have a good point. Especially since I'm drenched and might catch a cold standing in this cold building with only my dress on. I guess I really do have to head home. But I'll be back. You will not be back, though, is the thing. If you come back here again, I might just have to get myself another glass of wine to pour all over you. Do you have any idea what others will think when I have to leave? All that will happen after you're gone is the party will be able to continue the way it should have without you here. And And as for the CEO, he'll no longer have to look at an ugly old hag like you anymore and can focus on more important matters like myself. So get lost, you loser! This dress happened to be really important to me, and I had it all prepared for a day like today, as the CEO wanted me to. Huh? If he becomes aware, when he becomes aware that this dress he was so excited about is covered in red wine, I'm sure he'll become very sad. Actually, he might become very upset. Huh? What are you going on about now? Janet, hey, can you please come back to the party? If you don't come back here, I'm going to really be in for something horrible. I didn't know anything about that. I literally never thought that someone like you would actually be the CEO's wife. And the reason for you becoming a part-timer after being a full-timer for so long was because your husband became the new CEO. And in order to have someone around the house more while he'd become more busy, you decided to work less hours for the company. And now that I think about it, the CEO happens to have the same last name as you do. Why did I never notice something like that before? Hey, Janet! Were you able to talk with the CEO? He's pissed at me. But I just assumed this whole dang time that the CEO had been single and had no other women. And I never knew that you were the wife of the CEO. Had you just simply told me about that sooner, I would have never had to kick you out of the party today. I had no choice, right? Rita, I think the problem that you're facing right now is something completely different from what you're thinking. Huh? Of course, it's totally unacceptable to pour wine all over the wife of the company's CEO like you did. But even had you not poured wine all over me and kicked me out of the party, you already had a whole lot of problems going on that could not be avoided. I hope you realize that the CEO is not only pissed at you about what happened today, but about plenty of other things that have been piling up, caused by you. I get that I've screwed up already, so just hurry back here, will ya? No. I happen to have a plan with the CEO on when I'm to come back to the party. So until that time has come, I'm going to be waiting at home for him to be finished dealing with you. Why won't you just come back here? Well, you happen to still be at the party, correct? Huh? I have every right to not want to be there while you're still in that building, right? You are a scary girl that thinks it's okay to pour wine all over me on purpose. And I can't be going back there until you're gone for good. I'm a scary girl? You think I am? As a matter of fact, right now you've been isolated into another room by some of the men there. And you have to wait in there until your parents arrive from the town to pick you up. They really went and called my parents on me? I was just trying to get rid of the old hag that was getting in the way of me and the CEO today. Why am I being fired from that company? I told everyone already that the only problem was that I didn't know you were the CEO's wife. Had I just known that one thing, I wouldn't have done anything to you. Also, all I did was spill a small amount of wine on you. My parents have already told me that they'll be paying for your dress to be cleaned for you, so I don't see what the problem is anymore here. You're firing me without any good reason. I could sue your husband for that. Settle down, Rita. I have something very important to tell you. The fact that you did all that when you haven't even been with the company long enough to consider yourself a proper employee gives this company every right to fire you over that. Also, the fact that you already told me you poured the wine on me on purpose could have the possibility of making the whole situation be taken into the police's hands. What? I've been talking with my lawyer about all that happened, and that's what he's told me. You're talking with a lawyer? I'm sure when you talk with him, he'll explain everything in a lot more detail to you. But I think you should stop it with all your BS and just let him take care of the situation with you. But that's... I've already been told I need to pay an out-of-court settlement to you, though. I'm sure that's what the lawyer will be coming to me for then. Not only have I been fired and won't be getting any kind of money for it, I'm going to have to be the one to pay for all that happened. So why is this all happening to me now? I never meant to hurt the CEO's feelings. On the day of the party, just as I had explained to Rita, her parents were on their way to pick her up from the place and have a talk with the CEO. When they did arrive, I was still waiting at my house, and so my husband handled everything for me. Her parents both apologized for their daughter's actions and then left the party, taking their daughter home with them. After that, her parents then helped us by paying the out-of-court settlement I'd asked for with the help of my lawyer. But this did not fix anything really, as when it came to Rita, she was not able to learn what she'd really done wrong, and only told me a verbal sorry. Because of that, her parents realized that they never raised their daughter well enough if this was how she'd act. And so they forced her to start working for a landscaping company owned by her uncle, where he works her hard. She can't even push her work off onto any of the other workers either, as they're all big men that will not take that kind of crap from some small girl. Actually, due to the fact that her parents had to take out a loan to pay for the settlement, they made sure to put her name on it so that she'd have to pay it off over time. So as of right now, she's having to work every day of the week making money that she's not even allowed to keep, as it goes right into paying off her debt. And with that, she cries and cries and cries, all while trying her best to work a very laborious job with nobody around wanting to help her. Mac, we're breaking up.
Huh? What the hell? Where did that come from all of a sudden? Lexi? What's going on?
I just told you, didn't I? We're breaking up. The engagement is off.
Seriously, what the hell? You got me so off guard here, I don't even know what to say.
It might seem sudden to you, but I promise you, I've been thinking about doing this for a long, long time.
But we only have 2 more months until the wedding, Lexi.
Exactly. It's precisely because we're so close now that I had to stop and do some serious soul searching. When I thought about what kind of family we'd end up being, what our home life would be like, what kind of married couple we'd be, I've been doing all sorts of thinking about what our married life would look like, you know? And I'm sorry, Mac, but it's just not the life I imagined for myself.
Huh? Huh? How do you mean?
How should I put this? It's like, no matter how hard I try, I find it impossible to imagine us having a future together. Or rather, when I picture what my idea of happily married life looks like, you're not a part of it. I guess you could say I was finally honest enough with myself to accept that.
What are you saying?
It's important to have a vision for the future, you know? Especially when you find yourself stood on the precipice of one of life's major turning points. But when you're about to embark on a new start and you're already having major doubts, you have to stop and have a difficult conversation with yourself about whether it's truly what's right for you. Look on the bright side. At least we didn't actually end up getting married, so we both get to come out of the other side without becoming divorcees. So please, just agree to breaking off the engagement so we can both move on.
I'm gonna need some time for this, Lexi. This has all been so sudden, and I need some time to process everything you just told me before I can give you a proper answer.
Come on, Mac, is it really that difficult?
Nothing you say will change my mind. I need time to process this.
Fine, I'll give you 3 days.
Just 3 days?
Actually, I think I'm being pretty generous, because nothing you say will change my mind. Which means 3 days is a waste of time as far as I'm concerned. That said, I get that you're shocked, so I'm willing to compromise. I understand how you feel, so are you gonna meet me halfway and consider my feelings too?
Fine, I'll message you in 3 days then.
Just remember that no matter how long you wait, nothing's gonna change my mind.
Mac, I just saw the message you sent me last night. I'm so sorry I couldn't reply straight away, bro. I was on night shift and we're not allowed to take our phones outside the locker room while on the premises. Hey, Tony. Sorry for sending you such a weird message out of nowhere. Lexi dropped a bombshell on me and she said that she wants to break off the engagement and I didn't know who else to talk to about it. Don't sweat it. I'm your friend. And I wouldn't want you to go through this alone, so I'm glad you reached out to me. I'm sorry if I worried you. Thanks, buddy. I see. So is that why? Is that why? Listen, Mac, there's something about Lexi you should know. Huh? I'm sorry to tell you this when you've already got a broken heart, cause it's probably gonna sting a little. But you might want to deal with it immediately, so I don't really have a choice. Whoa, what is this? Whoa, what is it? You're scaring me now. This all happened about 2 months ago. I saw Lexi while I was on my way to work a few times, but every time I did, she was with some other dude. Huh? Wait, what? I saw them together in the same place every time. Every time I saw them, they were walking down the long street you come onto. Every time I saw them, they were walking down the long street you come onto after turning right out of McPherson Station. I'm pretty sure I don't need to tell you where that street goes, right? That's where all the hotels are. Bingo. The first time I didn't think anything of it. I figured she was probably just with some guy friend, and they just happened to be walking that way while on their way somewhere else. But from the second time onwards, I had a bad feeling not only due to her being with the same guy again, but also they were way too intimate with each other just to be friends. I see. I'm sorry I waited so long to tell you, buddy. I just didn't know the right way to go about it. When I saw them again yesterday, I got super annoyed with myself for keeping it quiet all this time and swore to tell you. I was actually going to do it today. I can tell it's been eating away at you, Tony, and I'm sorry to hear that. Don't feel bad, okay? I understand why you didn't tell me. Thank you. What are you going to do next? Well, first of all, it's safe to say the engagement's officially off, and I'm going to need proof of the affair. But there's no doubt about it. Me and Lexi have been drifting apart for a long time. I always did my best to talk to her as much as I could, to make time for date nights and things, and I tried to make her happy, I really did, but for some reason, nothing seemed to work. She always just seemed so distant. In a way, I'm actually pleased, because now I know why. Now, I can happily break off the engagement. Mac, I get you want to put on a brave face, but it's normal for this to suck, you know? It's fine, really. Anyway, once the engagement's been canceled, I'll have to deal with the small matter of how to make sure Lexi takes full responsibility for what she did. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help, pal. I'm always here. I might just do that. Thanks, Broseph. Lexi, I've decided to break off the engagement.
Wow, really? Gee, thanks, babe. To be honest, I was kind of worried you'd dig your heels in and refuse. I'm really pleased you've decided to be a mature, responsible adult about it. Oh yeah, one more thing. As for letting everyone know we're breaking off the engagement, I think it's best we both tell our parents, friends, and all the people we invited to the wedding individually. There's no need to go making a big drama out of the whole thing, right? You've agreed to go along with the engagement, so let's deal with the rest quietly before going our separate ways for good.
You're right. That works fine for me for the time being.
Thanks for being so mature about us breaking up. To tell you the truth, I already found my new boyfriend. It's not easy being this much of a hit with the guys, you know. Anyway, I think we're just about done here. I'm so pleased that we were able to part ways on such good terms. Now it's time for a clean break. Woohoo! Bye-bye.
Mac, something crazy happened. You gotta hear this. What is it? It turns out the guy Lexi was cheating on you with is one of my coworkers. Wow, are you serious? Yeah, and get this. He has a reputation for being the most useless, deadweight blockhead at the company. He's such a pain in the ass that he routinely gets passed from department to department because no one wants anything to do with him. He just got assigned to my department today, so I finally saw his face for the first time. But I've been hearing rumors about him here for years. He's somewhat of a legendary figure at my company for being so damn useless. I thought he looked familiar when I saw him at morning call. Then I remembered he was the dude I kept seeing Lexi walking towards the hotel district. Wow, what are the odds? Now that I think about it, the street next to McPherson Station where I kept seeing him isn't that far away from my workplace. Obviously, I can't be sure, but I can say there's a pretty strong chance he's been meeting up with Lexi there after work for months. I see. Yeah, and that's not all. I don't know whether it's because he's trying to assert himself as the hotshot new guy in my department or whether this is just what he's always like, but he literally didn't stop bragging about himself all day. He even mentioned you and Lexi. What? Well, let me be clear. He didn't specifically say your names, but he was bragging about how he stole some loser's fiance and making himself out to be this huge stud in front of all of the female employees. Then he went around the whole office showing everyone a photo of him with Lexi before jumping on my desk and playing air guitar while spinning his head around like some wannabe rock star and yelling, "Don't challenge the stallion," at the top of his voice. Wow, are you for real? Sadly, yes. It turns out instead of totally being dead weight at the office, he's also a total jerk who thinks stealing another dude's girl is something to brag about. Does this guy have mental problems? That was my first thought, but then I realized that would be an insult to people with mental problems. The guy's something else. I'm pretty sure it became universally hated in my department within 5 minutes of meeting everyone. What's his name? Bartholomew Abe. What? What is it? No way. Unless I'm thinking of someone else with the same name. Which, let's face it, it's pretty unlikely. That's the jerk who used to bully everyone at my high school. No way. Seriously? Hang on a sec, could it be? I think this could be his way of getting revenge on me for what happened back then. Revenge? To cut a long story short, he had a crush on my cousin. He wouldn't stop following her around school, writing her love letters and asking her out on dates. But she wasn't interested, so I kind of ended up becoming her bodyguard. I often used to hear about how much he hated me for it, but since I was bigger than him and trained Wing Chun, he never had any balls to say anything to my face. Wow, I see. Anyway, if it really is him, I have a little trick up my sleeve. What are you gonna do? Me and him both grew up in the same town and we know a lot of the same people, which means gathering information on him is gonna be a piece of cake. I see. Alright, that sounds promising. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll pretend I don't know you and feign ignorance if he starts boasting about stealing Lexi again. Yeah, could you? That'd be great. Sorry you got dragged into this crap, bud. If you find out anything else, it'd be great if you could let me know as soon as possible. You have nothing to be sorry for, Mac. And sure, of course.
Mac, what the hell is this letter that just showed up at my mom and dad's place? You better start explaining right now. Why in God's name would I pay you compensation? Not only that, but why in the crap would I cover all the wedding expenses?
Which part don't you understand? Isn't it obvious? You're the one who called off the engagements, so why would you get out of footing the bill?
What are you talking about? Why should I pay you compensation when we didn't even get married? Are you stupid?
I should be asking you that. This was hardly a regular breakup, was it? We had the wedding venue booked, invites sent, a band hired, a cake ordered, your dress, my tux. We had everything in order, Lexi. The wedding company explained in advance there'd be a cancellation fee of the quoted amount plus 30% in the event of a cancellation within 3 months of the wedding day. Not only did the representative explain in person when we went in, but we both signed a contract and received email copies of the terms and conditions.
Huh?
I went through all of the cancellation procedures myself. And not only that, but I had to borrow the money from elsewhere because I didn't have enough left after spending so much on the wedding. Obviously, I was going to bill you for everything when you're the one who called off the engagement. Am I doing something wrong here? Please feel free to go through my messages again and pick fault if I'm mistaken somehow, because I assure you I'm not.
Fine. Well, what about the compensation?
You can still claim compensation without getting married, you dummy.
Wait, what? No way, you're lying.
Not only that, but you cheated on me.
What? No, I did not.
Sorry, Lexi, but you're not going to be able to lie your way out of this one. I put the proof of the affair, including pictures of you being intimate with your lover in public, in a separate brown envelope inside the compensation bill letter.
No way. That's what's in the envelope?
Get back in touch with me once you've taken a look inside if you dare.
Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. How did you find out?
Shall I be completely honest with you?
Tell me.
I'm so sorry. I almost fell over laughing when I realized how easy you made it to collect proof you were cheating on me.
What?
You do know that your lover, Bartholomew Abe, was in my class in high school, right?
Sure I did, but so what? What's your point?
So you should have known he was the most hated guy in my entire neighborhood too, right?
Huh?
Not only that, but he was also hated by the very kinds of people you do not want to make enemies of. Which is why when I headed back into town and enlisted the help of some of my old friends in the form of calling in some favors with their connections, I had enough evidence to prove the affair 10 times over within just a few days.
It was really that easy?
Come on, Lexi, face reality. Even without the help of my friends, it was never going to be difficult to prove he was going around bragging to everyone who'd listen about how he'd stolen Mac's fiancée and was now officially the superior male. He even posted photos and videos of you both together in the office group chat.
God damn it, that moron. Are you being serious right now?
Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Bartholomew wouldn't happen to have stopped messaging you these last few days, would he?
Well, yes. I thought it was just because he's busy since getting moved to a new department at work.
I have some friends who work at one of the office buildings outside the hotel district near McPherson Station. They gave me several witness accounts reporting seeing him going into one of the hotels with a young blonde a total of 5 times over the last 2 days.
Wait, what? Bartholomew with another woman? But why? Why would he do this to me? I thought we had something special. You've got to be kidding me. I broke off my engagement for that asshole.
There's one more thing you should know. Apparently, Bartholomew's uncle found out about his nephew's misdeeds for the first time yesterday, as well as kindly agreeing to shoulder the burden for the compensation his nephew's gonna owe me. He also drove him out to a remote mountain temple run by a small group of Shaolin monks who operate a rehabilitation facility for violent criminals, ex-drug addicts, and other various breeds of social misfit. Something tells me you won't be hearing from him again.
What?
Anyway, I think we're pretty much done here. Make sure I get my compensation and repayment on the wedding expenses sooner rather than later, okay? My lawyer's on standby, should I need him.
Oh my god, is this real life? How can you just keep springing extra crap on me? I don't even understand what's happening anymore.
A few days after our last messages, Lexi's parents showed up at my place and apologized profusely for their wayward daughter's sickening behavior and cheating on me and breaking off the engagement. They told me they took all the savings from her bank account and sold all of their possessions in an effort to come up with some money. With that, they lowered their heads in shame and handed me an envelope containing the exact amount I requested in the invoice I sent before going home. Sadly, I can't say Lexi responded in as dignified and responsible a fashion as her parents. Apparently, she still carried on claiming to be the victim in the whole thing and showed no signs of repenting for her behavior. At their wits' end, and having heard about Bartholomew's uncle sent him to the mountain temple for rehabilitation, Lexi's parents decided to enter her into a monastery for 2 years in the hope that the nuns there would teach her how to be a decent human being. As for Bartholomew, of course his departure for the mountain temple meant he left my company. I got the funniest text from my boss a few days later. Apparently, as soon as it was announced that Bartholomew was leaving, the entire office erupted into thunderous cheering and applause. To be honest, even having him around for the short space of time we did was a huge pain in the ass for all of us. Which is why me and 2 of my coworker buddies have decided to go on a guy's vacation to Mexico to decompress.